Okay, Senator, I did not go to the Naval Academy. I do not have an MBA from University of Chicago, but as I can read your legislation, it's basically a mix of subsidies and regulations, $250 million a year to subsidize directly shipbuilding, and then tax incentives for people who are investing in shipyards, and then regulations that would say that all government contracted shipping has to be on U.S. built ships, and in 2029, some percentage of cargo coming from China has to be on a U.S. made ship. Did I get that right?
You did great.
Hey,
yes, we're trying to keep up with the Japanese, the South Koreans, and others who have offered all kinds of financial incentives to go into the shipping industry to ensure that people contract with them. So we're going to have to compete with that for reasons of national security, economic security, as well as just global capitalistic competitiveness, and that's what's required.
Okay, so ship subsidies have been a big part of American history. New Deal era, we looked it up. So from 1936 to 1981, there was substantial subsidy for U.S. shipbuilding.
Yes.
And the United States built on average 15 to 20 ships a year in that period of time. Reagan era reforms came in and they said, we're not subsidizing ships anymore starting in 1981. Shipbuilding production goes from that range of the 15 to 20 down to low single digits of ships per year. You want the United States to build 25 ships a year.
Yes.
For the next 10 years. How is it going to work this time if it didn't work last time?
Well, it's going to work this time because we actually have competitors to benchmark ourselves off of, and we're going to relearn how to build some of these ocean-going vessels from the South Koreans. They have full order books, they have spare capital, and the Japanese, to a lesser extent, have indicated real interest in investing in our shipyards, investing in our workforce. Mm-hmm. The American people will have to step up as well because, of course, we're paying a national security premium on top of existing construction costs in order to entice that investment in that construction back to the United States. Say more about
that. When you say national security premium, what do you mean?
Yeah, so merchant vessels are used during times of war,
right,
and they need to be therefore held in reserve to move personnel and equipment into harm's way. They're also there to make sure we're not dependent on our primary adversary, in this case China, that has the most shipbuilding capacity, right, in order to run a modern economy. We don't want to be at the mercy of the Chinese. They've used every other node of economic control they have over us to manipulate us. Mm-hmm. They're doing it right now with critical minerals. So this is an effort to mostly take cost out of the system through deregulation, as you mentioned, mm-hmm, to train our workers so that they can build these vessels and create economic opportunity for them, but also to repair Navy vessels in time of war, to build new vessels as we did during World War II. We've just lost that capacity over a period of time. And so what we're doing is we're investing in a sector that even Adam Smith indicated had strategic implications and needed to be kept in-house.
Okay, let's do the Adam Smith part, and then I want to come back to the part about national security, because as you say, there's a premium that a country has to pay to have its defense. But let's talk about the Jones Act. Okay, so in 1920, the Jones Act, in order to subsidize or to provide a regulatory subsidy for U.S. shipbuilding, said any cargo that goes from one U.S. port to another U.S. port has to be done on a U.S. ship. And it raises prices for consumers. Yes. And if you ask a Puerto Rican about the Jones Act, they will give you chapter and verse about how it makes everything cost more, and people in Hawaii and in other places. The Jones Act, has the Jones Act worked? Should the Jones Act be kept? How is this different from doing that?
So my position on this has fundamentally changed, okay, I admit. When the global pandemic hit, and we discovered that we didn't have enough semiconductors in addition to other key inputs in our economy, and we were literally vulnerable to our adversaries' goodwill.
Yeah.
We had to look at other strategic sectors, this being one of them that has, obvious military implications. And the Jones Act provides certainty moving forward for for our commercial carriers, so they are located here in the United States, and for our shipbuilders.
But there are costs.
If you were to eliminate the Jones Act or fundamentally rework it, you'd need to replace those incentives with others. So
maybe like the Ships Act?
Right, exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Okay. I think I see where you're going.
I am open to reforms. I don't have any pride of authorship over the precise details of our solution. It's bipartisan. It's something we've worked very closely with the President of the United States and his team on, the Ships for America Act. But the bottom line is it's going to take revenue. It's going to take an investment to make sure that we have this strategic resource, our shipbuilding enterprise, and all the people who make it work.
So I looked up what the other places that the United States is, I don't know, 15th or whatever on the list of countries.
We're way down there.
Yeah, this is not something that the United States has done much of for a long time. So then who other than China is on the list? Number 1 is Greece. And number 3 is Japan, Singapore, Germany, South Korea that you mentioned, Norway, Bermuda, France, the United Kingdom. Wouldn't they help us?
Yes.
They would help us. If there was a problem, if China was trying to shut us down or we needed a merchant marine or something, those countries would help us, wouldn't they?
Well, the South Koreans are prepared to help us. The Japanese prepared to help us relearn how to build these vessels. Okay. And I think we should work with them. I think we should use their capital and their expertise. We could take that gamble. Right. We have a high level of trust. Let me be clear with our South Korean friends and our Japanese friends. We don't trust them so much that we would forswear nuclear weapons and ask them to help us, for example. So
this isn't either or in your mind.
No, it's not.
Both.
And our goal is not here to become independent of other countries. We need to take enough risk out of the system so that we're prepared for a time of war. Right. So that if the Chinese, for example, decide to coerce us in various ways, we have enough capacity to move our things to and fro. And those things could include U.S. Marines, and all the important equipment that keeps us safe and secure.
You have a sterling record as a China hawk, right? And this speaks to that. And the fact that you've been able to build bipartisan consensus around this legislation speaks to that from both your time in the House and in the Senate, that when you talk about this stuff, it's serious. But I was thinking, as I was reading up about you and ships, I was thinking about chips.
Yes.
And the United States has loosened the rules on what kind of advanced artificial intelligence chips we're going to allow to be exported to China. Is there a concern here? Like, you're talking about a down and dirty, gritty part of protecting a country and keeping us independent and afloat in terms of having a war with China, but we're selling China some of the stuff that they could use to win that war. Do you see there's a conflict there?
I'll let others resolve those tensions.
Okay.
For my, as far as I'm concerned, we should be staying a step ahead of the Chinese as it relates to the really high-tech products that we make. So that would include semiconductors. I don't think we should give them best in class. I know there are principal disagreements about that approach, even some in the administration think that we can get the Chinese hooked on our best-in-class products, and if we don't offer them, then they will reverse engineer and develop their own capability. So I conceptually understand their argument. I just don't fully agree with it. I think in this case, ships, we have some sense of how to build vessels, but we need to build them more cost effectively. Okay. And the South Koreans have among the most automated yards in the world. They can train us as well as make investments so that we can develop high-value, low-cost products over a period of time. But it's going to take these 10 years to not only build those vessels, but get to a point where we, too, are efficient in building ships.
All right. If you were from Terre Haute, you'd know him already. But if you don't, there he is, Senator Todd Young. We thank you.